Hey everybody, you're watching GTSam. I'm Sam, and this is my Honda Civic 2009 EXL. And today, we'll be working on the next segment of the practical repairs and maintenance items to be working on for this car. So today is going to be the transmission filter. Now this isn't really a common item that people like to replace on their cars. I know, I get it. It might be messy, it might be dirty, hard to get to, or people don't really care about it. It's like, oh, you drain the fluid and it's fine. Or you have this fluid that lasts forever. Why change anything or touch anything on the transmission? Great questions. Well, let me tell you why. Now I have an Acura TL from 2004 and I have 266,000 miles on that baby, and I've changed the transmission filter and the fluid on that multiple times, and it has saved it and made the longevity of that transmission to be amazing. It's still running and pulling strong, and I fully attribute it to all the maintenance I've been doing on it. Now I even went to the I went to the Acura dealership one time, even bought the filter, and the mechanics even came out to me and told me, like, what is this, a lawnmower filter? They even barely knew what it was. So I'm ahead of the game, and it made my car run much longer. And so we're doing pretty much the same thing to this Honda Civic. Now, the owner before me said he actually did all of these oil changes, and then every other oil change he did the transmission fluid drain and fills. He didn't do a flush, but drain and fills. I think it's a little excessive, but you can kind of see how the car was treated along the way before I owned it, which is good. But we're not going to go ahead and change the fluid just yet in this time of its life, because I don't think it needs it. But I do think we need to go ahead and get the filter changed out, because that probably has been a long time. The complexity on this one is about medium level, and it might take some time to get to it. We got to take a lot of things out of the way, because we got to get down to the right side of the engine where the driver is, and you got to remove the big old air box. And again, it might just take some time, but it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so guys, let me go ahead and show you some of the tools and the equipment and the part I'm actually going to be using to work on this car today. So let's go ahead and get that underway. Everyone, make sure you get this part as well. This is the transmission filter for the automatic that you will be getting. Nothing too fancy. It's kind of like a matte and black kind of finish here. This is the part number. I'll go ahead and leave it down in the description below, and you should be able to go find it easily. You know, where's the kind of site you need when to buy one of these. I would not recommend eBay. I would just keep it to, keep it to some of the dealers, and then some, Amazon if you really want to, and things like that. Alright guys, so I'll kind of show you the tools and equipment I use along the way here, but for now, what we're going to get off here is just this whole top intake manifold with filter. Got your MAF sensor, and then a couple of clips, and then some hoses that can get out of the way as well. So it's not bad, it just takes some time. So let's go ahead and just get started, get stuff off around the top here. Start here with just the clip here on the MAF sensor. Pull up, we're gonna pull this tab right here, pull a tab right here, and then pull up, get the wire harness out of the way. Easy enough so far. And then when you go ahead these air lines, go ahead and take those off as well. And then this one's a coolant line, so you might get a little coolant coming out, but hey, that's okay. This is a project. Here it is. Got this one over here. Pull on that. There we go. Also make things a little easier, go ahead and take off the top air filter box as well. So you got 4 clips, 2 in front, 2 on the right side here. Pull. There we go. Get your filter. Mine still looks relatively good. Not too shabby. This is a pretty dense, thick one. Not one that I would choose, but hey, it's still going. It's still working. So I'm just gonna keep it. So put that aside. And so now we got to go ahead and we got to go get. We got 1 bolt here. And then we gotta get this big hose at the bottom. We gotta pull that out. You can pull that right out right now. You might need like a screwdriver to kind of wedge in there and kind of pry apart just a little bit. But if you get it with your hands, that's great. Make life easy. right off. Get your 10 mil. Side. Make sure you get the bolt all the way in the back here, off and to the right of the airbox, and get it early on too, so you don't have to deal with it later. Alright guys, a little trickier because we gotta get all the way back here to like the throttle body and take some components off as well. So let me show you down here. Okay, so look at, I got some light down here to show you a little bit of what we got going on here. We got one clamp here, should be able to take off, and then we should be able to pull everything kind of back with these hoses. Then we should be able to go ahead and remove this very, very small nut to loosen up the clamp that's on this segment right here of this box. So we can see if we can get this top thing off here. The best way, squeeze and pull. There it is, tough. Everything's nice and loose, and get everything out of the way. There we go. And back there, it's gonna be a little more interesting. I had to do this before. I need something super tiny to work with it. Now let me see what the size it is. I don't even have a size for that. Jeez. I think I had to use some pliers actually, from what I remember. The best thing I found: just take you some pliers with some good grips on them, and grip and turn. Or if you have a screwdriver, you do that too. Make sure you're on there tight, or else you'll have problems along the way. Strip some stuff out. Then you gotta pull towards this way, towards the driver's side. Yep, so you gotta pull up and out, and then make sure you don't lose your tabs for your airbox too. This, take care of. So you gotta kind of pull up and over because you got a bolt on your mount over here. It's kind of touching it. Okay, a little twist here. So need some finagling, but there you go. There we have it. All right, that's the bolt I'm talking about. Get that out as soon as you can. All right, let's go ahead and get an insider view here on what we're working with. And boom, there it is. So right underneath these hoses right on top, they're like coolant hoses, so be careful with them. So I know it's a little tricky, and it's not gonna be too bad. Just take your time with it and don't rush it. And it's gonna get a little messy, so get prepared with some rags and stuff like that, because the fluid is gonna come out, but that's okay. You can always top it off later if you need to, but this is the filter. Okay folks, so what I'm first gonna do here, we've got a bracket here that's holding in the piping, and so I want to loosen that up by taking one of these brackets off. We're going to go ahead and get these hoses moved out of the way, and then there should be another bracket on the actual filter itself. So it looks like we might need a 10mm for this, so let's go ahead and start working on that. I don't think anything has been touched down here in a long time, so it's going to be nice and kind of like corroded and kind of stuck. Got this hose here, pop that off, and again, get the other hose, pop it off. There we go. It's a massive bracket, a huge long bracket that's just like all the way bolted to the engine of the car. So I think it's another 10mm. Let me see if I can get in there and like I'll loosen that up, make life a little bit easier again. So if you look at this straight back next to this hose right here, and that's where the bolt is. Yeah, all right, not too bad. Get an extension, 10mm, boom, you're on your way. Got it. Bracket. Yeah. Look how long this thing is. So long, guys. Like I said, you have this straight back to the engine block right there. There's the bolt. I'm gonna keep that with it. Okay. See, got two bolts right there on the transmission. It's a mount that holds the filter in. let's go ahead and take that out as well. Gonna take the whole filter out anyways. Back all the way behind the filter there, we have the same kind of bracket that's in front right here. So you have to unclip it, and then, you know, you gotta move the bracket down, unplug the filter and the filter housing. So I know it's gonna take a little effort, you have to do a little finagling. So do your best. Again, take your time. So what we're gonna do is take out this front clip, and then we're gonna be able to push back the. Hey guys, here we're going again. This is getting to be tough. This thing is on there really good. So what we have to do now is, my next geniusness idea is going to be, we have to remove a couple things here. So let me show you what we got going on. See this big bolt right there holding a black metal tube? So we need to use that. That goes into the filter itself. Loosen that up. We can then, you know, all the fluid's going to come out. A lot of fluid's going to come out. That's okay though. And we're going to go down here. There's a bolt. All right, the bolt down there. We have to loosen up on the other side, and then to get the bracket off as well. And then we can pull up the whole thing and work on it better from like up here, and more movability, and not bend or break anything. So let's go ahead and do that now. Guys, you would not believe the struggles I'm having getting these hoses off. This does not make sense. Where the filter is up to the hose, I am gripping it with the pliers and vice grips and trying to move it back and forth. It is like stuck. It is on there. It is not going anywhere. I think this has been, nothing has ever been done to this transmission filter, and these hoses are just caked on there, like baked like an oven. I can't get them to do anything, like from anywhere. I think the easiest solution at this point is to literally cut them apart and then go buy some new hose. So that's what I'm gonna have to do for right now. I'm already in this. I'm willing and I'm doing it. So I'm gonna dig right in and cut them all apart. And then I'm gonna go to the auto store down the street, and then we're gonna get this all taken care of. So let's get rolling on this. And this is for extreme cases only. If you are able to get these hoses off, that is amazing. And like, let me know in the comments how you did it, because this is crazy. Alright. Oh boy. Wait. Where's all the fluid? Okay. Honestly, I was expecting it to be gushing out. That's kind of weird. Well, I'm gonna keep cutting and see what happens. I'm still thinking I'm gonna have to replace those hoses either way because they're just so old. I did it! I did it! Wow! Whoo! That sucked. Not gonna sugarcoat that one, guys. That was terrible. I'm a little curious as to why nothing's coming out of, like, here. Look. That's from before. Here's the other side. Like, hello? People, it should not have been that difficult, okay? Let me just say. All in all, we still might be able to use the hoses on this. I don't feel like going out, but if I can't get these off, then like I'm gonna try, but no guarantees on this. I mean, these are really stuck on there. There we go. So gripping on this metal piece actually loosened that up. Yeah, I'm trying to move that hose right on this end, and it's just not budging. All right. While we're here, we have to get the flow direction correct. So which way is that? Well, so we had it come out like this. So this is how it looks when it came out, kind of thing. So we kind of want like the bigger part facing up towards us, and then the skinny part pointing down. So there you have it. again, I recommend replacing these. Definitely smells like old burnt fluid in here. There we go. Woo-hoo-hoo. No, again, ridiculous. I'm not believing that's how tight it's supposed to be on there. Man, something was really messed up on there. Maybe it's starting to rust or something here. I don't know, but that's not cool. I mean, it's starting to get old and rusty and stuff like that. A little corroded on the edges there. But if you smell it, it definitely has that burnt fluid smell. Tell you what. I'm going to saw into this later, but I can't do it really quick right now. I don't want to cause any sparks and have some kind of random flame shooting out. So let's just pass on that for now. We're just going to go ahead and put the new one in. We didn't really lose any fluid at all. We probably lost like a tablespoon of fluid. I'm not really going to worry about putting any in. I'm going to check the levels later, but I think we're okay for right now. Anyways, so to get the back all together back on, this is one of the brackets that came off here a bit. So you need to kind of take this edge right here. You need to like kind of dip it in there and lock it in the back. So probably want to make sure you want to do that first. That'd be a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get our hoses all hooked up here. Remember, the big side goes top. We want the flow to be correct here. I'm going to try and make it so I can access it easily next time. God forbid I ever have to get back in here. Probably do this after 50,000 miles. It's pretty much like this. We can go ahead and just put it back in. So let's go ahead and get our bracket ready and get cracking. So here we are. This is our hose right here. Let's make sure I got everything in place. Okay. Okay. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert the back. Make life a little easier. I got all the hose all the way in back. You've got to maneuver around your coolant hose. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this fluid. I'm going to put it around the actual metal hoses and, help lubricate them just a little bit. Because if I go back in here, I don't want to go through this hassle again. Forget that. So I'm going to put a little bit of cap, put it on my finger, rub it on there, and it'll be good to go. Probably got some haters on that one, but hey, if you had to go through the crap I just went through, you'd be thinking the same thing. I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot. This needs to go on first. So clamp on first. Yeah, I gotta hook it in. And let's go ahead. The news is clamped in. Go ahead. The old rusty bolt it had. I'm gonna hand start it. Everything stays in place. It's all back together. Well, almost back together. I actually had to use spark plug wire pullers to actually, work with the clamps because it had a wider mouth. So that works okay. Oh, anyways, we are back together here. I'm all down here too. So things are coming together. So now we just gotta put everything back in reverse order for these bolts and everything. Right around here. And then so we have 3 bolts here, and we got the one here. So we've got things like that. So we've got 3 bolts down here for the brackets, and then we gotta put the whole airbox back together. So let's get cranking on this. Guys, don't forget this big old bracket here. Alright? Remember that. We got the 1 bolt, goes all the way in the back. Okay, everybody, we've got the brackets back in. We have our hoses clamped back in. And so now we just gotta put the airbox all back together. So remember, we got the bolt in the back, we got the bolt in the front, we got the rubber grommet over on the left side then too. You gotta wiggle it in, and then you got the airbox hose. In the back, you got hook up that connects from the throttle body to the box itself. Okay, bolts are back in. Now remember to put the hose down here, but then also remember to tighten up this screw. Get this hose back in. That will make sure that one's still connected, and then get these 2 over here connected as well. Alright, there we are. Airbox is back in place. Connection for the MAF sensor is connected as well. Notice bracket to clip back in. Hoses are connected. We're good to go. So let's go ahead and clean up here, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next to get kind of everything primed and ready to roll here. Okay, I was just cleaning up here, and I was knocking around on here, see if I left any tools up here, and I found over here in this corner, way in here, these 2 quarters. Like, what? All right, this is it. First start with the new transmission filter in. So what we're gonna be doing is essentially just starting the car, but then also we're gonna be just going into like all the different gears, and that's the standard process for when you replace the fluid. I know, but I just want to go ahead and do that for this filter also. Just make sure that hopefully things are flowing, and then I'm going to take it on the road, make sure things are flowing there too, and then everything is, you know, everything's okay, kosher. So, let's go ahead. Put this in. Alright. So let's see what happens here. So far so good. Well, that kind of warm up a little bit. Something else I also forgot to mention is that some of the symptoms I was dealing with of this transmission was just hard shifts, jerky shifts, not really knowing when to shift and what to do under load and things like that. So usually when I replace the transmission filter and replace the fluid, it does a lot better. This is just a filter, and again, hasn't been replaced in over 120,000 miles. So I think this could help out a lot. And here's hoping. We're gonna give it a shot. Maybe it'll work, maybe a miracle, maybe not. But it's always good to keep the fluid clean. Alright, here we go. Put on brake, let's go ahead and put on reverse. Alright, shifted. Oh, oop, put it back in neutral. She's ruined to go. One. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think there's some weird garbage on our road here. Like chips and oil or something like that. Something weird. Chips and fish. Who knows? Alright. Alright. Get some gas. Shifting, downshift. Okay. Stable here. I did some nice hard pulls and some nice downshifts, and it seems to be handling everything great. I feel no issues so far, just on some of these back roads here, and so not bad. It's too soon to say yet if like the filter has already done something for a transmission, but it's cleaning it up as we speak, so I'll go with that. Alright guys, so I couldn't wait. I just had to open up this filter and see what was inside. You already have my hacksaw here, and we took care of it. I went all the way around, just kind of cut around all the edges here. And so now I'm just going to pull it apart, check this filter out. And I know for a fact that these filters are supposed to be red inside, nice bright vibrant red. And when usually you take them out, they turn black. So I don't fully expect them to be black if they're over 122,000 miles. There we go, pulled apart, and it already smells like rotten, bad, burnt transmission fluids. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, that smells very burnt and smelly. Nice and dirty. And there we have it. The Honda Civic is shifting great. The filter is brand new and put right in. No leaks, no problems at all, no check engine lights, anything like that. The car is shifting and running great. Okay, I know it might be like a placebo effect, but honestly, I was in those high RPM ranges and it was shifting really good when I told it to. And who knows? Maybe it's already working, it's just that good. Let me think about it. I mean, maybe the transmission filter was clogged a little bit and stuff wasn't flowing through it fast enough to actually lubricate the system. And this is a brand new OEM filter and it might be doing a heck of a lot better job at what it's doing. Either way, it's still doing its job, and over time, as I drive the car, it's gonna be cleaning up even more all the time. Win-win all around, I'd say. Now really, for taking this transmission filter out, I really think it would have been a lot easier if the actual hoses were actually cooperating a little bit more for me. It was definitely a little bit tricky because they were almost like corroded onto the actual filter itself. Kind of strange. I don't know really why I was doing that, but I decided to reuse the hoses anyways. They're definitely thick enough, and they definitely still have some life left in them, and I don't think they'll really be going anywhere. Those clamps are heavy duty on there too, and they're big, so I think they'll stay around for a long time. If you guys are in the same situation, I think you'll be good as well. Use your best judgment. If they're cracking and breaking all over the place and they're brittle, replace them. If they still have life left in them, rubbery, and they still bounce back a little bit, I'd say keep them. I don't think you have a problem at all. But make sure if you lose any fluid, and if you do a drain and fill. I said drain and fill, you don't want to do a flush. That's just dangerous. You know, I never want to do that on a transmission. Now, if you're going to do a drain and fill, or if you need that top off the fluid, make sure you're always using Acura or Honda. Guys, my Honda, so we have Honda fluid. We just use the ATF fluid that's recommended for it. It's the best. You can't go wrong with it, and it's just formulated for the transmission and the filter itself. It only makes sense, right? So guys, what do you think about this whole process? Would you have changed anything else? Do you have any tips and tricks that you could share with me or anybody else in the comment section as well? Leave the comments down below. Also, if you like today's video, go ahead and make sure you get a thumbs up. It really helps and encourages me along to help bring video content for you guys like this along the way, just to help everybody out. I really love doing it, and I want to keep doing it. And so just those little encouragement helps out a lot. And so guys, thank you for watching GTSam. I'm Sam, and I'll catch you next time. How's that? GTSam out.